And what I also find interesting is that, Ra is a sixth density being then. And I think they also say that our higher selves is a sixth density being. Yeah. And then I was wondering about why do we speak so much about the higher self from the sixth density? Then we probably have a higher self in the fifth density and in the fourth already, and in the seventh and in the eighth, and in the first. So I was like curious, what is that higher self? And if that higher self is in the sixth density, perhaps my higher self is Ra, or your higher self is Ra. It could be. Yeah.
Sort of, kind of. It's a bit counterintuitive to how normally we think of higher self in the spiritual community. But again, Ra just gives answers to these questions that you go, wow, like that makes perfect sense. And I feel like I kind of knew that, but I didn't. So what Ra says is that we evolve through the densities by polarizing, which is another word for evolving. There's two polarities. You could polarize either one. And so to polarize on the positive path, they call it the service to others path. And now the misconception with service to others is like, okay, so if I want to be a positive being, I sort of become like a monk or a Mother Teresa figure. I just go around feeding the poor and the homeless. And that's how that's not exactly what service to others means. The positive path, as we've been saying, is the path of oneness. My perception of myself, of the creator, of the universe, is that it is all one. So the more and more I experience this endless universe, everywhere I go and everything I experience gives me the touch of oneness in a new light, in a new way. And so to serve another person is to basically worship the creator in them. So it's not that you do it to polarize. It's really the opposite. It's the more you polarize, the more you will find service to others becomes your natural reflection, in the same way that it is absolutely natural and effortless to help somebody you love who's suffering. Like if you passed your best friend on the street, or your mom or your dad or somebody you love, and they had, I don't know, been hit by a car or something, would it take any effort or thought at all to rush to their side and try to help them? Obviously not. That is the experience of the positive polarity as we evolve, is that love's natural desire is to shine and give itself. And the more that happens, the more we are polarizing. And so there comes a point apparently in mid-sixth density where the soul or the consciousness has learned all the lessons available through this path of service to others, and it can't keep polarizing until it kind of goes to the next stage of that. And so Ra explains that the next stage that a mid-sixth density soul needs to continue on to keep evolving is to become the higher self, which is essentially when you sort of turn back in time, because in sixth density, there's no time anymore. You can be anywhere at any time you want. You sort of turn back in time and serve as a guide to all your previous lifetimes, all thousands and thousands of them. But that is a very tricky act of service because you're trying to be of service without infringement. So it's like helpful pointers and guide and signposts are okay, but giving answers and pointing in directions is not okay, because any infringement on someone's free will depolarize you. Because the negative path polarizes negatively by infringing on free will, by controlling and manipulating. So you have to find that balance, right, of being of service in a way that is full of wisdom and authenticity, that allows you to gain polarity by being of service, and your former selves as well. So it's obviously a very advanced form of service that we're not probably really capable of until a mid-sixth density stage.
Wow, that was so helpful. I get touched. I don't know why I get so touched. It just touches me.
Truth resonates, huh?
Yeah. Wow. That makes so much sense. Like now I got it, because I was wondering about that.
So your higher self is you from the future, essentially.
And that's the case for angels as well, isn't it? Because I always thought that angels was something like another department.
Exactly, another department.
Lived on Earth, and
There's no departments in the universe.
So what are angels, according to Ra?
Well, Ra doesn't really say what angels are, I don't think. I don't think they talk about angels specifically, but the whole idea of the light body really kind of answers those questions, especially for someone like me who grew up in religion. Anytime there's writings in the Bible or any ancient spiritual text that talk about an angel visiting somebody, every single time it's a being of light, right? An angel of light appears, and the countenance is so bright the person can barely stand to look upon it. Well, Ra says, starting in fourth density, we start to become evolution, like literally nature evolves into a light body where the chemical vehicle is now pure electromagnetic energy. And that is the filter that consciousness is funneling into. And so pure electromagnetic energy is much less limited than a physical meat suit is, right? So my ability to move through time and space is dramatically increased as a light body. So in my estimation, what we call angels are just higher density beings. They're beings like us who are just at a higher stage of evolution.
Makes sense.